Good morning. My name is Piotr Kudryavtsev. I'm the founder and CEO of City Makers, and I'm really happy to open the session for Sustainable City track. It's the third room of the Moscow Urban Forum. And it is dedicated to the problems that are facing actually the whole entire planet. I think it's important that we have a number of amazing speakers who will talk about how we deal with most actual problems of the world, especially connected with the cities. Today, we're opening the first session with a great architect, innovator, whose name is Arthur Huang, the founder of MiniWiz, and a pioneer and innovator in the circular economy. Under his leadership, MiniWiz has been recycling waste all over the world and creating innovative products and constructing some pretty impressive buildings. As founder of and the CEO of MiniWiz, Arthur is focused on accelerating the shift from the closed-loop circular economy, where all the products are made from recycled materials, and eventually, even those products will be recycled. It's important that MiniWiz right now has quite a lot of already very well-known projects. One of them is Nike Labs, which is mostly made out of the waste. And the 37-story Pacific department store in China, in the town of Chengdu. Under Arthur's leadership, MiniWiz received the World Economic Forum's Technology Pioneer Award and Financial Times Earth Award, and the Wall Street Journal Asian Innovation Award. This is quite impressive. He is also a National Geographic explorer since 2016, and the World Economic Forum recognized him as the runner-up for the Circular Leadership Award 2019 in Davos. Arthur will show to us how garbage, how waste can become materials for building sustainable cities. Arthur, please.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for the organizers to invite us. This is my very first type of engagement with Russia. I'm very so excited because this is a city, Moscow has always been the city I always wanted to go. I actually was hoping that we can actually go to this conference this time physically, but of course the COVID is still going, and now we get this virtual sessions. So thank you for the invitation, and right away, let me just get through what the hell that we are doing for the last 16 years in a very short time, so hopefully you can gain something from what we are doing and how is that going to be relating to you and your industries. First of all, the company is called MiniWiz, and it's called Zero Waste and Beyond. And this is something that we have been dedicating ourselves to for the last 16 years. So a lot of people always ask us who we are, what we sell, and why we do a certain things. Let me start with why we do a certain things. That's how we started. We don't try to sell anything in the beginning. No, what we're trying to say is we think in order for our society to be circular or more naturalistic, more biomimicry, we need to have zero waste, because the fact that when you produce anything, there's zero waste, then by itself, it is natural, okay? The system is actually digesting its own waste and turning that into new energy for new generation of product. And this we have not changed for 16 years. For the last 10 years, we have identified ourselves of who we are as a waste material technology company. And I will explain more about that later. The reason is because there are many technology that's missing for the transformation of trash. So we have been identifying ourselves as who we are is a waste material technology company. And what we sell are constantly changing for the last 16 years. Every period, we sell different things. And now in the last 2 years, we're only selling upcycling infrastructure because that is exactly what the market needs at the moment, which is these factories to able to take trash and transform them into new generation of products. Okay, so the next one is just a brief of what we do, and here's a video.
We want to matter to the non-toxic future of our world. We want to matter to the sustainability of our community. At MiniWiz, it is our mission to change consumer behavior into a circular one. It is the only way for us as a species to sustainably consume our limited resources. Overconsumption is a complex system problem. There is no single miracle cure. We want to matter by proving human consumption can be satiated with our very own trash. We have dedicated ourselves to turning decades of environmental pollution into solutions that will enable us to live sustainably. We want to matter, so we turn ourselves into magicians of trash, inventing new ways of transforming our everyday trash into high-performance works of art. We turn milk packaging into the hottest sportswear fashion, plastic bottles into luxurious textile, cigarette butts into furniture and glasses. We want to matter, so we infiltrate the cities where the desire for luxury is cultivated. In Milan, in Berlin, in Beijing, in Taipei. We want to matter, so we design scalable technology, machines, softwares, utilizing the material and carbon footprint that we have already created. We research new ways to reuse trash, localized collection for turning waste into new products. To date, our lab has innovated over 1,200 new materials made from trash to unlock the upcycling potential of everyday waste, available in our cloud material database. We want to matter by giving our future generation hope. Please join us in this trash revolution against our own selfish inertia. Let's stop talking about the problem, take responsibility of our own action, and start doing. Because we all matter.
Okay, so now you probably got a brief idea of what we have been doing for the last 15 years. And here's the reason why this is not working, okay? Why it takes so long for us to make something real happen. All the material, doesn't matter if it's clothing, doesn't matter if it's packaging, doesn't matter if architecture or transportation. The maximum collection rate currently, it's only at 60%. That's very sad. That's in Germany, Japan, and Taiwan, 60%. Rest of us, for example, rest of the countries are basically way below 60%. We are talking about collection rate, okay? On top of that, there's only between 2 to 5% is actually being collected for reuse. That's and this is going up. The number is slowly going up and up and up. But initially, when we first started, it was literally less than 1%, okay? Most of that, where did all that material went? It actually went to heat recycling, and it actually went to landfill or shipped to Asia or Africa for disposal. What that means is it just goes straight into the ocean or open landfill or open dump, okay? And also, why, okay, even if we could collect all this material, what did all that material went? That material actually couldn't be processed. You see all these little arrows here? These are the gap in data that's needed to be transformed into a new generation of material. So for example, even the collectors will ask you, what is the type of shredding specification you need? What type of moisture level you need to keep the trash at? If you don't know the final engineering applications, you don't know the manufacturing technique, you don't know how you're going to transform that into what grade of materials, you will never be able to know any of these specifications. So for the last 16 years, the first step that MiniWiz did is to collect 1,200 new material that's to unlock these data. And we collected these data, all trying to get to 100% REACH certified, no VOC, and can be recyclable again, okay? And through that database, this is a business plan we have since the beginning. Basically, the goal is trying to turn consumer into a recycler. That's the end goal. However, how do you get there? So we started off like, actually, unlike most consulting company, we started off from the beginning, from the manufacturing side. Okay, not from the consulting idea transformation side. We started from the technology of productions. So we started from the blue, then we get to now closer to the orange and the yellow. Okay, so the material database is part of our green strategy. So for us to be able to use those data in all the design engineering and material R&D, and all the way to how do we collect the material. Okay, so recently most of our work is on the yellow and orange side, which is called fast identification, tray bag, and trash Presto system, which is trying to take trash directly from the consumer. Instead of going through the collectors, we are trying to find a way for community to directly take the material themselves and transform it. So there's no additional carbon footprint, there's no more contamination, and there's no more leakage into the environment. So this is and how we survive in between is that we started with a B2B business model where we work with an international brand from the headquarters in the US all the way to Switzerland. And we try to transform all these materials with their waste that's existing in their manufacturing supply chain and turn that into new generation of product for these brands. And this is a database. Welcome to log into our website. And we open 300 materials, allows you to use SolidWorks or any type of new material simulation. So when you build a product, you know what type of material you can use with trash, okay? What type of trash you can use for your new generation of products. So this is trying to help designers and engineers to use trash more efficiently, and it's on our website. So in the 2020 project highlight, let's quickly just show you what we are working on as a upcycling infrastructure. So recently we're working with Singapore to turn PPE, medical waste, into new generation of materials. Okay, so we call that PPE recycling. So we're basically taking all the gowns, masks, and the hats, and the bed sheets and pillowcases. These are all being burned. We're taking those and we're going to a sterilization plant, and then we're doing an upcycling plant, turning that into new generation of PPE during the pandemic time. And of course, past pandemic, we can turn that into a new generation of architectural materials. And another project that we're working on currently is finishing is a medical grade material that's made from trash. Basically, it's a modular Basically, there's a modular hospital system. It's all made from recycled aluminum with special coating that's antibacterial, antiviral, and also recycled polyester, which is everywhere from the curtains to all the gowns and all the way to the polypropylene, which are mostly all the PPE, turning that into this state-of-the-art ICU negative pressure containment wards. And we are currently completing 96 beds at Catholic University hospitals as a first demo site for this system to be deployed. And what's so interesting about this is in 2020, most of the supply chain around us, including Taiwan, is shut down. Many of our material come from China, many of our material come from Southeast Asia. And because during this pandemic, everything is shut down, so we have to do all the material collections, all the material processing, all within like 150 kilometers within Taiwan, okay? So we collect the aluminum, we collect the polypropylene, we collect the polyesters, all within our within this 150 kilometers radius, and we can produce these insulation pods. That's all made from recycled aluminum and recycled polypropylene and recycled PET. We are still continuing to do the last stretch of our mission is to make a consumer into a recycler, but they need to have an infrastructure to do that. So this is what we call a mobile intelligent recycling machinery. Here's a video, so quickly you know what we're talking about as being
4 years ago,
localized
started
infrastructure
to create the first mobile recycling line, the Trash Presto. Using press machines, shredders,
we are
ovens,
basically trying to
and
take
other industrial
recycling
equipment, Trash
plant
Presto
to
is
where the
able to
trash
recycle
happens
trash anywhere.
for the community.
While TP1 traveled around the world, MiniWiz developed a new generation of trash presso, a modular system with a smaller footprint for easier transportation and higher energy efficiency. With a new system of heat induction presses and specific molds for different parts, the process has become faster and more efficient. The new trash presso complements Robin, MiniWiz's smart trash collection system. We will track every single piece of your trash from the moment you throw it away till the time we put it back in the game. Furthermore, new trash presso can be upgraded with a robot arm that will do the dirty job. Technology, engineering, design, ingenuity, creativity, and passion. This is Trash Presso 2.0, the mini Trash Presso.
So we also tried to do exchange shops recently. Not recently, last year in Sardinia. What we are trying to do is to show that we can collect all the data from the consumer who recycle the material for us. We can give them digital tokens where they can be rewarded, and they can use that tokens to buy any product that's within that shop. Okay, that was the experiment we did, mainly to collect data for all the camera system. Okay, and I think it's very rewarding. We're constantly flooded with requests for this type of services. And every hour is it's a 20 square meter shops, literally filled with 50 people trying to engage with the robots, engage with the machine. The whole process now only takes 2.5 minutes. The latest generation one, which we are launching in 2021, will be much smaller, and it will be fully automatic. So, and we're very excited that finally we can get the price of these machines down further and further. So now it's able to let as many education institutions, many foundations, and many government are able to take up these systems in more volumes, in more numbers. So you can see some of the product we produce on site. We produce cups, we produce chair joints, we produce mosaic tiles. It's operating at 300 cycles a day, recycling 500 kgs of single-use plastic waste a day. That's not bad. We are talking about 1,000 people community can easily use that machine and take away most of the thermoplastic waste, single-use waste on site. And we did a lot of experiment with different places, all the way to train stations, etc. Okay.
Join Jackie Chan, international superstar, and Arthur Huang, Nat Geo's emerging explorer and structural
right now you're
engineer.
seeing
Together they'll embark
Nat
on a
Geo
new
ad.
adventure
That was the very, very first
full of eco-friendly
very
innovations
first,
and cutting-edge
idea.
green
You can see
technology.
how big it was.
Jackie
and
Chan's
how much
Green
we have
Heroes,
shrank in the last
Wednesday
4
night
years.
at 10 on National Geographic.
Okay, so rest of that, I'll just try to show you the reason why we have confidence to do all that is because we used to manufacture a lot of things for lots of different big companies and all trying to use 100% waste. So this is our office in Milan. We're trying to show that with all the collaboration we've been doing with all these different fashion brands from Gucci's waste to all the way to Nike's waste, all the way to Starbucks waste. What can we do with all that waste? So we created our own showroom of what everything can be done with all this material. So literally can become part of a hotel. So we're just showing you how even iPhone glass that we throw away. by the way, iPhone glass is only 20% can be used, and rest of that is actually being thrown away in the manufacturing process. So from chairs, furnitures, tiles, all the way to the chandeliers, the chairs, even the beddings and the bed sheets, they're all made from 100% recycled material, even the artwork. And that is on the interior level. And now let's get to a little bit architecture level. So these are all buildings that we built from the very beginning, collect the material from its own citizens using these waste, and then recreate, then remanufacture and create these buildings. And these buildings are still there. Restaurants, beer factories, basketball stadium made from recycled polyesters, all the way to a floating stadium for Nike. And the rest of that is just a lot of fancy work to show that trash can be truly sexy if you put your engineering capability into it. And we've been doing that for a while. So trying to demonstrate that even food waste, this is a food waste recycling plant, can turning into ethylene glycol and then turning that into a membrane, and then became the canopy for this factory. All the way to lots of interior projects that we have. Everything you see, even the wood, are all secondary collections. So we actually collected the waste wood from Shanghai. We built a small manufacturing site to replank all the wood. This is all made from cigarette butts we collected in Switzerland with ICOS. I'm sure in Russia, ICOS is quite popular. So we are part of that recycling program to remanufacture many of those cellular acetate into new generation of air filters and chairs. And we built university buildings like this, from the facade to the interiors to hotels, from the facade surfacings all the way to the interiors of these hotels. And these architecture project allows us to have the first initial scale to play with material. And so this is the latest version of our, what we mean by sustainable architecture is trying to use waste as a container and then trying to use air as its mechanical structure. So this is the last video, and then I'm pretty much done. Yeah. So this construction process can be really fast, and it's using a weaving technique. And then with lots of air pump that's linked to weather sensors. So you know how strong the mechanical system has to be. So imagine you're covering 3,000 square meters, you're using only 800 kg of polyesters and recycle from bottles that you can already create such a beautiful structure.
Arthur,
So yes.
Sorry, unfortunately we are out of time, and we have a number of questions which are quite important to ask, if you don't mind. This is absolutely amazing, the things that you're talking about. I think that one of the most important questions maybe from us, because Moscow and Russia, we are generally are starting this way, and you already progressed quite a lot over there. Maybe the first question is about the psychology of waste. So how do you feel about people? How do they feel about these products, and how do they feel about the whole process of waste collection? Do they feel were they feeling some kind of disgust at first, and this kind of feeling changed, and they started to understand that this is just the same kind of chemical reactions and the chemical materials that are in your new products? What is the psychology of feeling of these new products?
Everyone thinks there's recycled material is dirty, is not strong, and it's ugly. So you notice that many of the project I show you, or many of the project we built, the first thing is to convince the psychology that it can be beautiful, it can be higher performance, and it can be lower carbon footprint. Okay, it can be safer for the environment. Okay, So you see the last stage that we are proving is that I want to show you the whole manufacturing process. People think like, oh, by using recycled material, that's mean you're going to create more pollution. That's why we show you all our machines in your face. Yeah. Where are the secondary pollutions? Where are the energy usage? We show you in front of your face. We don't talk about it. We don't give you a diagram. We show it to you in front of you. We produce the building with a machine in front of you. So you will have no doubt this thing is very safe for the environment. So this is kind of the two-step process for us to prove to anybody that this will work.
So you think that trash can be sexy?
Yes, of course. That's obviously a part of our thing. Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
So another thing, of course, is the economics. Were you building any kind of financial models? For example, if we are making the first house fully out of trash, or we are making the full big public interior out of trash, what is the economics of it? Can we benefit from it?
First of all, what you're trying to ask is, can it be cheaper, right?
Yeah, generally, yes. Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Can
okay.
it be cheaper, Arthur?
Yes. It can be cheaper if you compare to the right thing. A lot of people always ask me, can it be cheaper? If we do turnkey construction, it can be cheaper because we're cutting away lots of existing supply chain, right? Okay. But if you still have to follow the existing what we call incentive infrastructure, okay, where everyone gets 30%, then it's going to be really hard for the new product to be cheaper. That's just pure economics, right? So I think for the government, for the cities, if you can create these competitions, you actually offer some of these building opportunity to local entrepreneur, and you're forcing them to build everything out of trash, okay, and to meet the building standard, but using the same price, not lower. I'm just saying, if you are paying $1 for a building, please give sustainability the same chance, same $1. You don't want to ask them to say, oh, because it's made from trash, I want to be 50 cents, So if you can just keep it as since you're paying for this for $1, can you do this at another $1? Then I think a lot of entrepreneurs will have lots of creative ideas to try to achieve that. They have to form their own alliances, their own partnerships with local business and local industries.
Thank you. So we have a couple of more minutes, and my question will be when we will be able to build the whole town out of trash, and what do we need for that? What do we need to achieve for that?
First of all, that's why we are focusing on the infrastructure now. Okay, the first thing is we have to own our trash. Okay, so the trash has to have value. Once trash has value, I think the possibility is endless. It already can replace everything. It's not an issue of replacing or not. Okay, right now I think the key is we have to create a value system within the city where the trash is not being shipped away. It's being forced to create value, okay? So is it possible to be part of a city of the future? I think it must be. Otherwise, we all going to die, yeah? Yeah.
Perfect. Arthur, I think this is that was absolutely great and very inspirational. And thank you so much for opening our track today. And I really hope that we will have definitely some cooperation here with Moscow because we really need your experience here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
And good luck with all your endeavors.
Thank you.